Well, we're waiting.
What is up, my friends? This is Nar from How Do I Play This Game, and today we are going to be going over the month 3 June patch notes for PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. Now, the devs have really stepped up this time. There's a lot of fixes. There's bug fixes, server performance, client-side things, new weapons, new item effects. They're tweaking a lot of different things. There's a lot of exciting stuff to come, so stick around and check it out. First up, we're going to be looking at the new weapons and the weapon adjustments they're going to be adding. Now, as we saw in the E3 release, they're going to be bringing us the Groza, and this is an AR chambered for 7.62 ammo and can only be acquired in care packages. This weapon is classified as a bullpup, and what that's going to mean is the trigger mechanism is located behind the trigger itself. Generally, that's going to be in the stock, and what this allows is it's going to shorten the overall gun's length while maintaining barrel length, so you're not going to lose any of that range, but you're also going to gain a little better concealment and movement in close quarters. Also, they're adding what they call the P18C, which is actually a Glock 18, and that's a pistol that's chambered with 9mm ammo, and this pistol is going to be the first one with an adjustable rate of fire. It's going to have a semi-auto mode and a full auto. They also tweak some of the performance that we already see in pistols. Now, you're going to be able to pull a pistol a lot faster than you would pulling your secondary or your primary weapon, which will be an incentive to actually pull out your pistol instead of trying to switch to your secondary when you need to reload. And as some of us already know, that when you have your pistol, you actually run faster than if you have no weapon at all. Not only that, but they're also going to be adding where you can attach red dots to pistols. So I really think that this whole thing about the pistols is really trying to actually bring it into the gameplay. The pistol at the moment is almost irrelevant unless you're like very early game. So I really like to see that they're trying to improve the performance of pistols and actually make them a part of the core gameplay. And as I mentioned, they're adding that Groza into the care package, which hopefully it is a relevant care package item. Now, they realize that the VSS is absolutely not a relevant care package item, so that will be removed from care packages, but we still will be able to find it in the natural spawns. They're also adding a new firing option to our SMGs, and more specifically, they will apply to the Vector and UMP. Now, these two guns will now support a burst mode. Now, I'd suspect this to be very similar to how the M16's fire mechanic is, where it bursts out about 3 shots or so. Also, while we're talking about the UMP, they are going to be increasing the recoil of the UMP, which is a good thing. It's a great gun, but in certain situations, it can be a little bit overpowered, so I'm glad they're dialing that back and making some adjustments there. They're also going to decrease the UMP's spawn rate and increase the Uzi's spawn rate. The UMP, in my opinion, with the stats and the attachments you can add onto it, is definitely a superior gun, so I'm glad that they're kind of making it a little less common to find. Now, along with them changing the spawn rates of these two weapons, they are also going to be adjusting the overall loot balance of certain items in the game. So this is the first time that they've actually tried to change the meta of how loot spawns. Now, the devs certainly noticed, just as I have, that some items spawn a lot more than others, and other items seem to barely spawn at all. So this change should bring a lot of balance to the way loot is spawning. And some specific examples of what they're changing, as I already mentioned, was the spawn rate of the UMP and the Uzi. There was also an issue where the level 1 helmet was being spawned at a much higher rate than the level 1 vest. Now, they've adjusted this so both items will be spawned at a similar rate. So hopefully this will change the issue of walking into a building and finding 5 helmets and no vest, as these are absolutely core items in the early and any part of the game, really. They've also adjusted the spawn time of vehicles and speedboats, so you will now be able to see them from further away. Now, as many of us know, vehicles used to only spawn facing east, so that was a really good signal if a player's been in a vehicle or not, or if it was a natural spawn. Now, that will no longer be the case. They are going to adjust vehicles to face random directions at spawn, so it will be a little more tricky to actually pinpoint if someone's been in that vehicle or not. Now, my last mention in this category is going to be about the care packages. Now, we already mentioned, of course, the VSS will no longer be found here, but now, at a low probability, you will be able to acquire AR silencers, SR silencers, which is sniper rifle, and 4X scopes and care packages. Now, this is going to be awesome. There's times you go in a care package and find a AWM and a adrenaline syringe and an HP pack, and you don't find a scope, and absolutely a sniper like that is not even relevant without a scope. So it is nice to see that they'll be adding another scope into it, so hopefully there will be less of that. I'm sure it'll still happen, but hopefully it'll make it a little less of finding a sniper without a scope. And of course, with the AR and SR silencers, I mean, how awesome would that be to find a sniper, an 8X, and a sniper rifle silencer? Man, you'd find that care package and you'd just be on top of the game right right there. So that's a really cool add. Now that's going to be it for items and vehicles. Now we're going to start talking about environment and world changes. As we also saw and I covered in a previous video, they are going to be adding the 2 new weather settings, which is sunset and clear skies. I also believe that they're going to be tweaking the rain and the existing effects we already have in this patch. Eventually they'll be adding fog and some other effects, but what they've mentioned in this patch is going to be sunset and clear skies. Now as the other weather effects are, if you spawn into a rain map, you'll be in a rain map. It's going to be similar to that with the sunset and clear skies. Now I don't think that they plan to make these weather effects dynamic yet, but how awesome would that be to add into the meta of the game? If you could get into a game and it started out where it was, you know, dusk and then got into it being a clear sky to a rain, or, you know, you're in a game and then it ends up being a sunset at the end of the game or something like that, that would just add a crazy dynamic to the meta of this game. You wouldn't be able to just stick to one set of play. You wouldn't be able to just camp, or you wouldn't be able to just run out in the open. You would have to kind of play with the environment and the weather effects to give you an advantage in game. So hopefully we do see that added into the game. I think that would just be amazing. They're also going to be adding destructible cabins, and I mean, wow, that's amazing. I don't know if these are going to be like the current little fuckboy shacks we see, or they're gonna turn into like a get fucked boy shack. I'm pretty sure they are talking about the little 1x1 fab shacks, but we'll see what it actually is. But this is gonna add a really cool little thing to the game where you'll be able to kind of blast somebody out of one of those if they're camping in it. That is gonna be it for the world and environmental effects. Now we're gonna get into some gameplay changes. First up, I'll be talking about the DBNO effect, and what that means is down but not out. More commonly we know that as the knockout phase. There will be 2 changes to the down but not out effect. One is going to apply to you, and one is going to apply to your opponent. Now the one that will apply to you is going to be the screen will be gradually desaturated based on the remaining health during the revive state. And my take from that is, you know, as you're kind of losing your HP, you're going to be kind of phasing out. You know, you're passing out, you're bleeding out. So that's a really cool effect. It'll be nice to see that as you kind of lose health there. And your blood effect will no longer appear during the revive state anymore. Now, what's going to apply to your opponent, which is a huge change to this game. This is one that I really like because it's nothing more annoying than someone KSing you after you've already knocked someone out. But they will be adjusting the kill count system in duos and squad modes. And a person that is knocking out an opponent will receive the kill count regardless of the actual killer. Now, I also believe that they're going to be adding a assist system to the game, where hopefully at the end it will show how many assists you have as well, because sometimes assists are just as important as the kill. However, it will be great to be getting that accurate kill count. You know, you're not going to be able to KS your teammate and have all their kills or some kind of bullshit like that. So sorry to some of you guys, but no more getting carried and looking like you're pro. Next up in gameplay is they adjusted the F key interaction to prioritize the revive action in certain cases. I'm so glad that they added this. Oh my god, how many times have you guys been in a duos or squad trying to revive your teammate in a really pinch situation and you end up picking up a pistol 6 times or a stack of ammo and you just can't get your teammate up without them having to move, and you just really need to get them up quickly. So this is going to be really good. I mean, this needed to happen. It's just fucking annoying as can be when that happens. So that's a good add. They're also going to be adding a little tweaks to the reload system. Now, first off, they're going to be adding where the fire mode can no longer be switched during reloads. So you won't be able to change to auto or full auto or back to single fire while you're reloading. So you'll have to do that before or after reloading your gun. You will also be able to interact with doors, items, or vehicles while reloading. However, reloads will be canceled with such interactions, which is a good thing, because if you're reloading your gun and someone's trying to shoot you from behind, you need to run in a building and you can't stop reloading without having to fully put your weapon away, that's going to be great. So you'll be able to maybe pump 2 shots in a shotgun, open the door, and not get stuck trying to shuffle 5 shots in there without being able to stop. Also, you can now pick up items while moving. The interaction animation will not force you to stop anymore, but will make you walk slowly. And to go along with that, they've also fixed the bug where when your inventory is full and you try to pick up an item on the ground, it'll actually do the animation. You won't have to worry about that anymore. They've taken that out. And one more add-on about picking up items is going to be you can no longer switch to or from prone while picking up items. Another gameplay adjustment is they adjusted the default quantity to be selected at 1 when pressing control key at inventory to partially drop or pick up items. Now this is a simple but really awesome change. You know, now when you have 5 HP packs and you're only trying to drop your teammate 1, you don't have to control, drag and drop, select a quantity. You'll just be able to control and click and drop one so your teammate can heal faster. It's going to add a little bit more speed to actually drop in your teammate's items. The final adjustment to gameplay is going to be they are adjusting the play area to spawn more evenly within a circle so that the play area does not appear in the center so frequently. Now this isn't a problem that I've necessarily noticed. You know, most of the time I see the play zone kind of moving to the side. Sometimes it goes to the center. It hasn't been a problem in my opinion, but obviously it has been in other people's opinions, so they're going to be adjusting that so that you don't see the play area spawning in the middle so frequently. The next category is going to be UI adjustments. Now for our players from different countries, they are going to be adding 3 new languages. Those will be Thai, Indonesian, and Vietnamese. Now the lobby's UI is going to apply to those languages, and it's certainly going to be convenient for those players. They have improved the character's recoil animation, also have removed death marks of teammates after a certain period of time or distance away from the place of death. Now I don't know if you guys have had this happen, but when that skull and crossbones is up there and you're trying to look toward a teammate and you know that happened 20 miles away and it's blocking your view of an enemy, that is a pain in the ass. Now after a certain amount of time you will no longer be able to see where your teammate died at, but you better believe that it will always scar your memory. And they're also adding adjusting the direction of the teammate icons to the direction that your teammate faces. Also, we'll be adding a teammate list on the world map. Now that's going to be it for the UI changes. I am now going to go ahead and get into some bug fixes and some server and client performance improvements. Now I'm going to go ahead and read through these a little quickly. I won't go as in detail as some of these other changes that I've mentioned. I will go ahead and link the actual patch notes in the description so you can go ahead and check that out yourself, and I'll have a final word after I go through these. First, we'll look at server performance. They are improving the network performance by reducing the amount of data being sent from the server to the client. Also, they have reduced the network lag by preventing a large amount of data being sent from the server to the client simultaneously. Now, that's going to go into client performance. Fix an issue of frame drop when other characters were around by optimizing nearby characters. Fix an issue of frame drop when vehicles were around by optimizing vehicles. Optimize the starting airplane and care packages airplane. Improve rendering performance of weapons from far off. Made improvements to the weapons animations. Optimize many in-game effects including the red zone bombing effect. Improve many UI features. Improve features regarding rainy weather. Now we'll get on to bug fixes. Fix an issue when the voice chat volume blasted momentarily after getting on an airplane. Fix an issue where the character was not at the center of the screen while on a parachute. If you reload into a game while in a parachute, you will still be in the parachute. I didn't even know you could reload into games, so that's news to me. Prevented users from removing outer walls of buildings by deleting certain files. Now I'm going to stop for a second and actually have a little mention on this. Now, I don't know if you guys have seen, but PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds in the last 3 months has banned over 25,000 hackers. And that's absolutely impressive. You know, they're working really hard with BattlEye to really keep the gameplay fair and keep the cheaters out of the game. So make sure if you are seeing hacks that you're reporting them. You know, if you're seeing on some of the forums or Reddit posts or anything like that of people trying to sell hacks, make sure you report that to PlayerUnknown so that they can get that taken care of. But we'll go ahead and get back into these bug fixes. They partially fixed a bug that caused a character to be stuck in the terrain. They fixed a bug that caused a character to be misplaced after getting into a vehicle. They fixed a bug that caused effects to look identical underwater and outside of water. They fixed a bug that caused a character to make an interaction motion while trying to pick up an item when there is no more inventory space. Fixed a client crash that occurred when fences were destroyed. Fixed an issue of invisible fences even after destruction. Now this is something that I actually noticed before, and not with so much the client actually crashing when I destroyed a fence, but where there would still be an invisible fence even after I destroyed it and I couldn't walk through that. That's going to wrap it up for those bug fixes and improvements. Now, PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds June monthly update will be available on Wednesday, June 28th to the test servers only. Now, if everything checks out and everything's working okay on those test servers, we will be seeing it on the live servers Thursday, June 29th. And that's just tomorrow, guys. You know, we'll be able to see all these awesome changes, these new weapons and all this stuff really soon. And also, if you have the test servers downloaded, make sure you go check that out. You know, keep in mind, guys, we are the beta testers of this game. Unfortunately, we are unpaid. I'm sure all of us would love to get paid to play Battlegrounds, but either way, it's awesome to be part of this great community, and it's absolutely insane that PlayerUnknown's has recently broken the 4 million copies sold mark in 3 months. I mean, that is crazy impressive for an early access game. That's so many copies, and I know a lot of people just complain about some of the bugs and some of the gameplay issues, but guys, just remember, we are in early access phase. This is not a full game. Like I said, we are still the beta testers of this game, and try to turn that negative energy into something productive. You know, if something happens in the game, if there's some issues, some crashes, some bugs, some hacks, whatever it is, report it to the dev team. You know, you can see that they're really working hard on trying to improve the game. They're not just focused on adding stuff like a lot of early access games. You know, I've played a lot of games that are early access where all they try to do is just add things. They're not trying to improve the game's performance, they just want to sell the game. And that's not the case with this game at all. Every time you turn around, every patch note, everything, they're always improving the bugs and really increase the quality of gameplay for us. So like I said, take that energy and make it productive. Let the dev team know. You know, go play the test servers, do these things. You are the beta testers, and our opinions and complaints actually matter, so don't be afraid to be a part of the community. That's going to be it for my lecture on being a beta tester and being part of the community. That is also going to wrap up my video on June's monthly update. This is month 3, and every month they add so many great things, so many fixes. I'll keep covering that. If you guys like this video, make sure to leave a like. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you're most excited about tomorrow. And as always, subscribe for more. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you on the Battlegrounds.